Hello everyone. Welcome to this Bold Reports tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to render a subreport in your Blazor WebAssembly application using JavaScript interoperability with the report viewer control. A subreport is a report item that references another report and acts as a container to display one report within a main report. It allows you to reuse existing reports within other reports, display related data from different datasets, and organize complex reports into manageable sections. Subreports also enable dynamic content presentation, like showing detailed information for each item in a summary report. For this example, I have already designed my reports. The employee comparison report acts as the main report, and employee details is the subreport. In this video, I will render an employee comparison report in a Blazor application. Before proceeding, ensure .NET SDK is installed on your machine. Let's start by creating a new Blazor WebAssembly application using this command and naming it Blazor Report Viewer. After creating the application, initialize the report viewer in the project. Integrate JavaScript controls by creating an interop file to initialize the report viewer with basic parameters. First, set the report service URL and report path API properties to render the reports from the specified path. To do this, create a new folder named Data. And within it, create a class file called boldreportvieweroptions.cs. Next, declare the Blazor Report Viewer.data namespace and define the Bold Report Viewer Options class. This class contains the report path and the report service URL property, which will configure the report viewer component within the Blazor WebAssembly application. Create a scripts folder within the www root directory to hold the necessary script files. Inside this folder, create a JavaScript file named boldreportsinterop.js. In this file, add the render viewer function to invoke the bold report viewer JavaScript control within the project. Now, we will need to reference bold report viewer scripts and the style sheet. For this example, I am using CDN links to reference the report viewer scripts and style sheet, but you can also use local scripts and themes. Next, open the index.html file located in the www root folder. In the head section, add the CDN links along with the reference to the bold reports interop.js file to enable the JavaScript reporting controls. Now, you will need to invoke the web API from the controller on the client side to display the report. To do this, open the home.razor file located in the Pages folder. Add the Microsoft.JS.Interop and Microsoft.ASP.NETCore.Components namespaces by replacing the existing code. And inject the IJS runtime. These are used to invoke the JavaScript function from the Blazor component. Additionally, add the Blazor Report Viewer.data namespace, where Blazor Report Viewer is the name of the application. Next, create a div element, which acts as the container for the rendered report on the client side. Assign the ID attribute to this div element and give it the value report viewer. The ID attribute uniquely identifies the HTML element. You can also use the style attribute to add inline styles, setting both the width and height of the div. Inside the code, I create an instance of the Bold Report Viewer Options class and initialize the Render Report Viewer method. The report viewer requires a web API service to process subreport files. There are two options for creating a web API service: ASP.NET Web API Service and ASP.NET Core Web API Service. For this demo, I have created an ASP.NET Core Web API Service on my local machine. I have linked the video on how to create an application in this video's description. I have added the Employee Comparison main report and the Employee Details subreport to the Resources folder under the www root directory. To load these reports, modify the onInit report options method. Add an if condition to check whether the subreport model property of the report option object is not null. If it is not null, the code inside the block executes. Otherwise, the else block runs. Inside the if block, create a report path variable by combining the base path and the report name using report option.subreportModel.reportPath. Then, create a file stream instance to open the Employee Details subreport file from the Resources folder. A memory stream is created to store the report data, and the contents of the file stream are copied into it. This copy process prevents file access problems in the server while running the application. Assign the substream values to the report option.subreportModel.stream variable. Once you have finished the Web API service setup, run it to generate a URL. It will be used in the report service URL property. Copy it, and go back to the Blazor application. Inside the Render Report Viewer method, add the report service URL with the copied URL, and the report path property with the main report path. The local host indicates that the service is running locally on the same machine as the application. The API/report viewer path is the API endpoint for the report viewer service. Then add the invoke void async method to invoke the render viewer JavaScript function asynchronously. Next, add the onAfterRender method within the code, which is called after the report viewer component has been rendered. Now, everything is ready to run the application. Run this command, and the URL is generated. Copy the URL, load it in the browser. And as you can see, the Employee Comparison main report has been successfully rendered with Employee Details subreports. To learn more about Bold Reports, you can visit boldreports.com. If you don't have a Bold Report subscription, you can try out the platform using the Try It Free option. If you prefer a demo from an expert, Request Demo lets you schedule one. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching.